Previously on Dissecting Fiction.
Afford that.
It's Dissecting Fiction with Vinny Murphy. So, today on Dissecting Fiction,
Marvel Netflix.
Well, since Pete has been lost in the woods for a month and I wrote him out of the show, I'm here with Chris Barchuk at Funny Business to talk about the Netflix Marvel shows. I guess the logical place to start would be Daredevil.
Yes, Daredevil is the best place to start. What'd you think? What are your hopes? What do you think?
I mean, I love the first two seasons.
I like the second season better than the first.
I think what's interesting about the show is the first season, there's some kind of like fantasy elements, but by the time you get to the second season, you're so comfortable with like the violence that the fantasy doesn't really jump out as weird.
Right.
Which is illogical.
But
like
the
it's
story pacing is so much better in the second season.
right, and you also have the subplot with Punisher,
Yes.
which then kind of grounds it again, even after the sort of ninja heavy
first season.
plot that you have. I think it's the strongest live action Marvel thing that they've done in general.
On TV, definitely.
I would even argue it might be the best adaptation of a comic book into live action ever.
That's a possibility. Yeah, I'd definitely go with that.
I would say that
It's most faithful, without a doubt.
certainly,
Yeah.
like taking elements and being really faithful to them.
Yeah.
I think in that aspect you have to give it a big nod because you have stuff like Dark Knight, which really kind of runs with concepts,
Right.
where Daredevil kind of stays Daredevil the whole time. It's not really going away from the Frank Miller comics.
Right.
There's elements of other stuff, but it's pretty heavy Frank Miller.
Yes.
From that, you get to Jessica Jones.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I like Jessica Jones.
Some of my customers didn't love Jessica Jones. They felt it moved a little too slow for them.
It's definitely a different show. It's not an action show
No.
as much as Daredevil is.
Yeah, it's more of a psychological show than it is an action show, I think.
Yeah, I would agree. I was thinking one of the things that I don't think necessarily works as well as it should is I think there should have been more of an intro to Jessica before you introduce the Purple Man.
Okay.
Or we'll say Kilgrave to be
Right.
familiar because they
Right.
don't call him the
They
Purple
don't
Man.
call him the Purple Man.
He's the
but
Purple Man. He's purple.
suit.
Yeah. But what do you think of that? Like, as far as, because Alias really took a long time to get to the Purple Man.
Yeah. 25, 26 was where it took place.
Yeah,
so,
it's almost near the end of the run.
Yeah, so it was almost 2 years into the run, I think, or it was 2 years into the run before you even got there. How much time can you really give to it, though, is the question. You need to move it along, and people already think that it was the slowest one of the bunch. If you didn't get Kilgrave involved when you did, I think it would have just really dragged for people.
I guess. I was thinking of maybe...
You know, it's grouped in with a superhero show with superheroes, so people want to see superhero-y stuff. They expect superhero-y stuff.
That's true, which I think was a lot of, like, the big failure with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. sort of getting that audience initially, where they promised you this... Like, at the time, they were almost promising an Avengers spin-off, and you ended up with secret agents talking to secret agents, in the same two rooms.
Yeah. Pretty much.
So in Jessica Jones, they introduced Luke Cage.
Yeah.
But when Luke Cage gets to the show, it's sort of a different Luke Cage. I guess in a way,
It is. No, it's very different from where he is in his show because he's not yet so focused on the neighborhood. He's not so concerned about the neighborhood yet at that point. When he's in Jessica Jones, he's doing his thing as a bartender. He's not showing the concern for the neighborhood that really became the central focus of Luke Cage.
Right. Luke Cage, in itself, I know is a lot of people's favorite. I've heard that a bunch of times.
Yes.
And I understand why. I think it's an interesting show because, as you were saying, you know, Daredevil is very consistent. Daredevil is paced really well. It improves in pace, but even the first season is paced really well.
No, it is.
Jessica Jones is a little more drawn out.
Yes.
A little slower, Luke Cage is cool because it kind of changes the show as it goes. Like, it starts off as, like, sort of blaxploitation thing, and as it goes, it gets more and more superhero-y.
Yeah.
But
yet the weird thing was at the back end of it, the villain in the first arc was less blaxploitation-y, but yet the rest of the show felt more blaxploitation-y.
Right.
Whereas when you got to the back end of it, it didn't feel so blaxploitation-y in the story, but yet the villain, the actor, was just so over the top that it was like, oh god, they just pulled this guy from like Blackula or something.
Right. And he's also wearing like a snake suit.
Yeah.
So it's...
I like the first story arc better than the second story arc in Luke Cage. I just thought, I wish they wouldn't have gotten... I think they made a huge mistake killing Casanova. I think that was a huge mistake.
I don't know. I don't have necessarily a problem with that. I
just thought he was the more interesting villain out of the two.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see what they do in the second season, to see what comes back. Because...
we know what's his name's coming back.
Shades?
Shades is coming back.
Shades will come back. Who was cool.
Who was okay, yeah, I had no problem with him. And then Black Mariah is going to be back again.
Right.
And I loved Alfre Woodard as Black Mariah. I thought she was great. So I'm happy to see that coming back. The question is, when are they going to get Iron Fist involved, and can they save Iron Fist?
Well, that's the next one. So you go from Luke Cage, which generally, I should say,
is viewed as one of the better
well received.
Shows, yeah.
And you get to
Iron Fist.
The Iron Fist.
Oh, the Iron Fist.
So, I'm going to open this with my base argument about Iron Fist is all of these plots are ridiculous.
Yes.
But we were talking about pacing, we were talking about changing things. Up until Iron Fist, they've done an extremely good job of knowing how much story they had.
Yes.
Iron Fist...
It all went out the window.
Yeah, I feel like Iron Fist's entire arc could have been 3 episodes.
Yeah.
The story might have been necessary to get to Defenders, which we can talk about in a second, but...
I don't even felt like it, after watching Defenders, I didn't even feel like it was all that necessary.
No.
Besides the fact that Kunlun disappeared,
right.
And you saw some dead characters from Kunlun.
You got Colleen.
There really wasn't much else.
Yeah, it's... See, we try to be positive. Iron Fist is kind of...
there's not
a mess.
Very good way to be positive about it. There's no way to be positive.
For some reason, it doesn't look as good, which is baffling to me. It looks like it was like an ABC Thursday night drama, which is bizarre. Especially how cool Daredevil always looked.
The fact that you couldn't figure out a costume for him, even to put him in the Bruce Lee jumpsuit type of costume that he has, you gotta give him something. To have him running around in jeans and a sweatshirt the whole time is like, huh? And a beard. When did Danny Rand ever have a beard? But I know why Danny Rand had the beard. It's because he was so bad at the martial arts that they needed a way. I mean, and this is 100% true.
Okay, you hear it
They
here first.
needed to figure out a way to mask him, because they didn't have a mask for him, so they had to figure out a way to disguise him so that a stunt double could come in and do some of the stunt scenes. But it didn't help because he is so bad at the martial arts.
Which is, detrimental to a
Kung
Fu master character.
I don't understand how you couldn't have found an actor in today's day and age with so many action movies and so many people who are into, MMA fighting. I don't understand how you couldn't have found a guy for Danny Rand that could actually do or had some sort of martial arts training going into it.
Yeah, I don't
I mean, instead they found a guy who had 0 martial arts training. So what's the point? And they gave him a month to train.
Yeah, it's a baffling and was somewhat disturbing when I started it, just because of how good everything had been.
Yeah, it was a huge letdown. That was the one where you kind of got hit with the bullet of, the bad Marvel,
right?
Because you haven't had really a bad movie or a bad you've had some bad TV shows.
I'll argue there's a couple of bad movies in there. That might be a different.
Well,
that'll be a different.
There are
thing.
definitely some
Iron Man 3. Oh God. Oh, whew.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what came over me there.
One. Or two.
So, you fight through Iron Fist,
Yes.
which I did, by the way. I made
did
it.
the whole way.
Took me easily 3 times as long as any of these shows have. And you get to Defenders, which was fun.
It was fun. I enjoyed it. It didn't knock my socks off, though. It wasn't, like, super amazing, but it was a pretty consistent story. Once again, Iron Fist was the letdown in the story.
I thought they let people carry him a little bit.
Well,
he
he definitely got carried, yes.
Yeah. Like, I thought the Luke Cage and him teaming up stuff, like, I was like, okay, I accept this.
Yes.
Like,
it
that
made
was
it
cool.
a little bit more tolerable, but when everybody was fighting and you would go from a cutscene of Elektra and Daredevil fighting one another, and then you would cut to Iron Fist fighting, you were like, what the hell just happened?
Right.
Did they use a totally different fight choreographer? Like, how does this look so bad?
And he's supposed to look better than all of them, which
Exactly.
is the issue.
Maybe not better than Elektra, but he should still look better than everybody else.
My thought with Defenders was like, I came in, we talk about this before we start, and I was trying to gather like what I thought was like the biggest point about Defenders, and my biggest point about Defenders is I can't think of a biggest point. It was fun and it ended.
Yeah.
And like it didn't feel like it had much impact. It didn't.
Well, that's what I found weird. Is like they were talking about this whole buildup of the Force, of Daredevil. Like these 4 shows were then going to become Defenders. And when it got to Defenders, it was almost like, did you ever really have a plan for Defenders? It seemed a little anticlimactic. Like it wasn't. It's like these shows didn't really build towards something major.
I've heard a couple of times that it was the plan. That like the story, even through like Iron Fist and everything, was what they had planned at the beginning.
Right.
But it was nice to know that we're getting Daredevil season 3 at the end. Yeah. That's kind of how I felt. I was like, oh, sweet. Yeah, all right, we got direction.
Daredevil season 3, yes.
So the newest Punisher, you're a little ahead of me. Yeah, I'm only a couple episodes in.
I'm on episode 9.
I'm on 2. I'm really enjoying it. It feels like a real extension of Daredevil, which I like.
Yes. I like that they brought in Karen. But I also like that they didn't lean too heavily on what's been done in all these other shows. Right. They made some small connections, which I think have been great, but it hasn't been anything. They haven't tried to anchor it to those shows, which I think has been a real plus for it.
Yeah, as far as I've gone so far, they've gone back to the very, very end where Frank sees the evidence, and that's all that's been covered as far as I've gone. I'm really enjoying. I always enjoy the level of violence.
I was just going to say, I'm loving the level of violence in the show. The action sequences look great. There's 1 or 2 of the car ones that are a little cheesy looking early on, but I haven't really seen much else since. There's the one where he's chasing the guys in the motorcycle.
Oh, I don't even know if it got to that.
Oh, maybe. Okay.
That's okay.
Okay, maybe you haven't gotten to that one yet.
Our director's really disappointed because he loves motorcycles. So he just gave a look like, how could that be bad?
It's in the first episode. It's like how it opens, right?
Yeah.
Oh!
That's what I thought. I was like, wait, maybe did I give something away? I was like, I thought it was early on.
Okay, sorry.
There was a crossover with the motorcycles.
Yeah, so I didn't love that scene, but otherwise I've really been happy with most of like the hand-to-hand combat scenes. I won't give away too much, but there is a scene out in the woods where they're getting chased, and I thought they did a really good job with that. So I've been really loving the series. John Bernthal's been great. He has not disappointed from Daredevil season 2. He's just kept the,
his court scene in Daredevil season 2
one of the best.
Is my favorite thing in any
Marvel
comic book. Yeah, no, it is. I'll go back and just watch that 3 minutes to see him screaming. It's just he understands the character.
Yes.
You can tell he gets it. He doesn't need the director.
Yes.
He understands it, and I think that's, as far as I've gotten to Punisher, that's really what's driven it for me. I think it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
So, Marvel's had mostly hits.
Mostly hits.
One
from Netflix, yes.
Yeah, one miss, and then a fun show. But I think overall, I'm interested to see where they're going.
Pete, you're alive! Of course I'm alive, you idiot! Why'd you leave me up here in that cabin? I thought you were dead. Oh, no, I'm not dead! I had to walk all the way back there! How long has it been? It's been like a month. A month? I've been dead for a month? I wrote you out of the show. You
So Pete, I got an interview lined up for this episode. Michael from Luke Cage.
Wait! Holy balls, dude! You mean Mike Coulter, Power Man himself? That's awesome!
No. I got the guy who played Michael on Luke Cage.
Who the fuck is Michael?
Serious. Are you really trying to have a conversation right now?
I'm just saying. Yo, man, pull your mans down. You're supposed to be watching the damn door, right?
I say about using my government name, Michael. Damn, homie, like you went through a cheese grater. Oh, snap, you Luke. Ah!
I didn't mean that.
Give me your phone. The phone, fool.
Yo, my bad, man. I just got a little nervous and shit when he threw my mans across the door.
So I'm here with Andrew Casanova. Pete can't be here for security reasons.
No, I'm here, man. Hey, is Poison Ivy always supposed to be this pussy?
So, Andrew, we know you from Luke Cage, but we know you had a pretty big part on Blue Bloods.
Yeah, Blue Bloods season 8, which is pretty cool.
How was that set? Meet anyone cool?
Yeah, I worked with the new kid on the block, Donnie Wahlberg himself, which is pretty awesome. Really, really awesome guy, super funny. We joked a lot in between takes. And by the way, yeah, he loves when you bring up New Kids on the Block.
That's great.
Yeah, he was ecstatic. I mentioned that my aunt was a big fan, and he kind of freaked out and was really happy about it. He was asked, she was like, has she been to the show? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, that's amazing. He's really happy.
It probably makes pretty good money off those shows, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. And, it's like, you don't really hear about NSYNC and Backstreet Boys as much, anymore. But New Kids on the Block, they're doing some concerts, man. They have a strong fan base.
And it's not, I guess objectively not that much longer than like NSYNC or Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, another like heavy dramatic one you did, Heroes Don't Come Home.
Yeah, that's kind of like a 180 from a lot of stuff I've grown up doing, which was a lot of comedy. So this was a very, very heavy film. It was about 9/11, so that's about as heavy as it gets.
Yeah.
To childhood, longtime best friends growing up during that time. My character's father passes away in the World Trade Center attacks, and things go off from there. But it's a pretty heavy one, but we're really proud of it. It was premiered at the Chinese Theater in LA, which was amazing.
That's really cool.
Beautiful experience, for sure.
And that's on Amazon, right?
Yes, it's on Amazon, Vudu, and iTunes at the moment.
And you were mentioning you did a lot of comedy.
Yeah, do a lot of comedy. I'm actually part of a comedy group, Room 28 Comedy, it's called. We do live and video sketch comedy. We actually recently did a 500-seat venue, which was amazing. We sold it out. It was incredible. And we're working under like an SNL subsidiary. So SNL is a production company called Broadway Video. Broadway Video has a Latin division called Mas Mejor. So my comedy group, we're all Hispanic, so we are under Mas Mejor. Yeah.
And I know our audience specifically would be very disappointed. Do you have any cool stories from the Luke Cage set?
Yeah, there's a few for sure. What's a good one? Well, Method Man is awesome. Well, both of them were awesome. Mike Coulter and Method Man, super fun.
Hey, man, you went Method?
No, I said I worked with Method Man, the rapper. Does he always do that?
Yeah, kind of like get it under control sometimes.
Okay. And he's got him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Method Man was super cool. He taught us he gave us some fun facts about Wu-Tang Clan, which is really cool. I think the best one was he was talking about a member of Wu-Tang Clan. I won't mention names just because.
Controversy.
But yeah, just in case. But he was saying how one of them wore grills all the time. Like gold and platinum grills. And he eventually got gum disease. So it was pretty funny to hear Method Man go, yeah, my boy so-and-so, he's been wearing the grills all the time, and motherfucker got gum disease now. That's why I don't fuck with grills. And I was like, all right, that's good to know. Good to know. I won't be getting grills anytime soon.
I have this feeling that if we go over some Wu-Tang footage, we might be able to figure that one out.
Maybe, yeah, right.
That might be a little easy to figure out.
They're all wearing grills up now.
So yeah, another cool story was so in the corner store or bodega that we're shooting in Harlem, the owner, the father, he wasn't there at the moment, but he left his very young son to like watch the store as we were shooting, and that kid was a douchebag. Like he didn't care about anything. He was really good at just being in the way. Like every time we were about to shoot, he would be like in the frame somewhere, and the director had to be like, "Can you move?" And he wouldn't, and he would just sit there and just stare at the camera. But like stone-faced, and it was like okay, and we had to finally like physically move him gently, to Video Village, so he could just watch the screen. But
did you get any screen time?
He didn't. We were lucky enough to edit all that out, but it was actually hilarious. Everyone was like, "What's happening? Does this kid not speak English?" Or like, we had no idea.
I imagine he was really disappointed.
Yeah, I guess he just wanted. I think he auditioned for my part. That's probably what.
Okay.
Yeah, he probably auditioned for my part. Didn't get it.
Thinking I'm gonna sneak my way. Into
Yes. And then the last thing was one of my favorite parts was when I shot my Coulter. So we used actual guns. But we used blanks, of course. But they put these squibs in his sweater. So simultaneously, as I was pulling the trigger on the gun, someone with a machine was letting the squibs loose. So that's like a genuine reaction when you watch it. That was my first take, and I was shooting, and I was like, oh my god, because I saw like at the same time his like sweater exploding, and it was insane. Felt like it was real, which was kind of cool.
No, did they do that a bunch more times, or did they really just go with like that first one where he reacted?
No, they do it a few more times for sure. But I know me, and that was definitely like the first. Whoa, because it was also just really cool. Like it was a cool feeling to see how everything works, before editing and all that, and just at an actual shoot day using guns and things like that. So that was pretty sweet.
Okay, so Pete put me up to this.
Oh, the guy.
Yeah, the head that pops in every once in a while there. Could you say a line from the show?
Yeah, man, do a line.
Jesus. Okay. All right, yeah, I'll do this one. Yo, pull your mask down. You're supposed to be watching the damn door, Bryce.
I mean, it was okay. It didn't it didn't feel real. I'm looking for that real.
Okay. No, I have a good idea. Always come prepared, right?
Yeah.
Just,
should be good.
In a second. Now you'll probably recognize me a little more, right? And yo!
Oh,
your mask down! You're supposed
real!
to be watching the damn door, Bryce! That better?
That was way better.
Yeah. That always works.
Yeah.
Now give me your money.
Andrew Casanova, ladies and gentlemen.
No,
Right
give me
back.
your money, man. Get up. For a second. And just give me everything in your pockets, please.
Okay. Car.
Thank you. What the fuck is this? A Saturn? Who owns Saturns anymore? Dude, come on. You're
pretty much. This,
and a piece of fucking paper. Look at this.
I got this iPhone.
iPhone? It's like an early version.
It's a 1.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. I'll figure it out.
Just
Bank? You must be from Jersey.
I mean, that's where you came to do
Yeah.
this show.
That's it?
I mean, I wasn't prepared to be robbed.
This, man. Your set sucks, your wallet sucks, your car sucks, all this sucks. Were those fake? Wait a minute. Did you even hear anything I said in this whole interview?
We got it.
What is this, a dildo? You're killing me. God damn it.
So, Andrew Casanova from Luke Cage. Hey guys, so exciting thing on this episode, we have the first Dissecting Fiction giveaway courtesy of funnybusinessonline.com. Chris, why don't you tell them a little bit about our prizes?
All right, so what we have here is, so one of my customers happens to work on the Netflix shows, and he's always giving me little tidbits of cool merchandise when he comes in every now and then. And he happened to bring me in these 2 prints that were given out to the cast and crew. It's prints done by Joe Quesada. 2 different prints depicting different characters from the show. This is the main characters right here. So great prints. Can't really find them anywhere, so one lucky person's going to get them.
Yeah. So if you would like a chance to win these prints here, you just have to do a couple things. First, you got to like and follow us on Facebook. So that's facebook.com/dissectingfiction. Easy enough. We're going to pin this video to the top of the page. And you have to make a comment, like it, and what your comment has to be is your favorite character from the Netflix Marvel shows and why. And we're going to pick a winner based on that. So make it good. Try to make us laugh. That's what we like. The more ridiculous is better. Seriously.
Dissecting Fiction is sponsored in part by
the XY Group
and funnybusinessonline.com.